surely, if it was us and we were spending 100 million rand on a factory, we'd have a bloody good plan of what we're going to produce and when we're going to produce it. Who spends R1 billion on a plan and produces not a single product and then closes?
I don't know.
It's real money. R1 billion like real money, you know.
I don't know, but that's a good way to start the 71st episode of the Overclocked podcast. It's Overclocked ZA, all the vowels, even the ZA, one word, no underscores. You can find us. You found us on any of your podcast listening apps, podcast catchers. Please tell your friends about us. And as always, I'm joined by my good friend Gavin Dudley,
Hello,
editor of Tech Magazine, the largest consumer technology magazine on shelf. Gavin, how are you doing?
Good, thank you. So, I mean, just to dispel any confusion, Overclocked ZA, spell it like you say it. Overclocked ZA is the way to find us.
Yeah, I am Lindsey Schutters, Sharpshooters on social media, SharpSchutters, and That Opinion Guy on the internet, thatopinionguy.co.za is the website where you will find this content and a lot of other content that I make. It kind of fluctuates. If I get client work, the website takes a backseat. Yeah, but there's some awesome things going up there. Gavin, in the news, Stella and Ndebeni Abrams, her husband, Yakani. What's going on? Tell me, bro.
Last week we reported that Stella Ndebeni Abrams, Minister Stella Ndebeni Abrams, Minister of Communications, was getting in trouble for taking her husband with her on her business trips at huge expense to taxpayers. So a certain amount of that is allowed, but apparently she massively overstepped the amount that she was supposed to be spending on having her husband traipsing around behind her. Now it looks like he's trying to make side deals off of her involvement in national policy direction and so on. So a very high-tech factory opened in the Eastern Cape about a year and a bit ago to much fanfare. It was a R1 billion facility, and when you look at the photographs inside the facility, you can see a hugely high-tech production line designed for building phones, tablets, all manner of electronics, set-top boxes and so on. And for the R1 billion spent on the factory, not one single product actually came to market in a year. Not one single product came to market. Now we're hearing that Stella Ndebeni Abrams' husband actually blocked the factory from getting anywhere because they wouldn't allow him to buy a share of it. So,
Controlling share.
Yeah. So we don't know what the details are. My concern is there's just too much smoke billowing around the minister. It means there's fire of some kind, and I'm afraid she might turn out to be one of the bad guys in the end. This is what it's starting to look like, and that's what's getting on my nerves. Not to mention a R1 billion electronics facility that's just being mothballed because they couldn't produce a single phone, a single tablet, nothing.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the Department of Trade and Industry is involved there. There's a lot of funds, and I think there's some lotto money also.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you can't spend R1 billion, produce not a single product, and then just hope it all going to go away quietly. I mean, someone's got to pay for this, man. Jeez.
Yeah, a year ago I wrote about South Africa's manufacturing and how it's kind of re-emerging now. I mean, you get like pockets of real industry that is flourishing in this country. But yeah, this is sad news, and it doesn't bode well for who are the other guys who opened up in Durban? Mara.
Yeah. So the factory we're talking about is Yakani. Yakani, I think, hoped to produce set-top boxes for the digital TV revolution that didn't happen.
That kind of stalled.
And then they wanted to build phones and tablets for the education sector, which didn't happen. And so the company is Yakani, Yekani. And I mean, if you were to go to their website and just look at some of the factory equipment, it's spectacular. But it's all now gone.
Other pockets of news, Gavin. Apple is now at a market cap of $1.4 trillion. Still the most valued company in the world? Yes.
Yes, suckers.
Amazon did make it to $1 trillion.
Suckers.
Google is about to make it to $1 trillion.
Microsoft crossed $1 trillion very briefly.
Yeah, Microsoft crossed $1 trillion. Facebook was hovering around there. I think with the new... like driven by what Instagram is doing in terms of e-commerce, I think they're going to get there soon. I think Instagram on its own might even become $1 trillion company at some stage.
It's really quite absurd. But the fact is that Apple had gone down a little bit. Its products haven't really set the world alight for a while. iPhone sales have been flagging dreadfully, actually. They lost a lot of ground in China, which is everyone thought would be the future driver of growth.
Yeah.
Lost a lot of ground there. And iPhone sales in general are just going down. But Apple has convinced the market that hardware is not where it wants to play. It wants to play in services. It wants to bring you streaming TV and music and all sorts of other things.
And we are now in the week of the 10th anniversary of the original iPad. You know, I'm a big iPad fan. I've converted you to an iPad fan as well.
I mean, I remember the launch and how the name was ridiculed. iPad.
Yeah, the MaxiPad thing. I think it was still at Men's Health at that stage.
Yes, that's correct. That's correct. We were at Men's Health. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good times. I think I derided it as just a big iPhone, it didn't do anything differently. But I mean, how it has changed.
And that's what's interesting. It went through a period of being the hot thing that everyone wanted, and then everyone figured out, I haven't really found many uses for this. But over time, as digital media improved, as streaming video became a thing, as YouTube came online, as all these things emerged, uses for the tablet began to emerge. And so it was a little bit before its time, so it went through a little lull of not being hot property, and now it's come back around again.
That's the Apple magic, Gavin. That's the Apple magic. Headroom for growth.
Don't even start. Don't even start. I mean, Steve Jobs famously would go, we're not listening to what consumers want. Consumers don't know what they want. We're going to make them stuff and then show them that they need it.
That was the last product that Steve launched. Yes. It was the last actual product that he launched. I mean, it went on. It started selling quicker than the iPhone.
No. I remember the Air laptop he launched as well. He took it out of an A4 envelope.
I think that might have been before the iPad.
No, I don't think so.
It could have been. Anyway, we're 10 years into the iPad. Talking about sales and smartphone sales, and Apple has kind of come back a lot this year over the holiday season. Apparently they manufactured something stupid like 90 million of the iPhone 11 family, and they are readying for 20 million of the smaller iPhone 9 SE2, whatever they're going to call it.
Yes, it's going to be
coming in March apparently. I'm very excited for that. I'm a big fan of like the budget conscious Apple phones. But Gartner says that worldwide smartphone sales will grow by 3% in 2020. What do you think is driving this growth, Gavin? Is it 5G adoption? Is it...
Yes, well, I think what held phones up last year was the first year that smartphone growth didn't go up.
It was after years and years of like about 2 years of just small iterations.
Yes, growing. Last year it suddenly didn't grow. And one of the reasons was that people decided they would wait for another cycle. They didn't feel the need to upgrade every year, or they didn't feel pressure to upgrade every year. And what's happening now is some very advanced countries, Korea, China, other places are getting 5G, and 5G phones are starting to really take off. Of course, we're like way behind the curve on that, like way behind the curve. But that's what's driving cell phone growth in other parts of the world. So we'll see a small growth in cell phones again this year.
Yeah, there was Samsung launch last week for the Galaxy Note 10 Lite, the A71 and the A51, and they
look like wonderful phones, I must say.
Yeah, largely I have the A51 at home for testing. When you hear this, the video will be up on my on YouTube, just first impression, sort of general oversight on what the A series means. In 2019, they sold over 4 million A series devices.
Yes, so Samsung used to have 3 ranges. J series was the entry level stuff, A series was the middling stuff, and then S series was the hot shot stuff. And they did away with the J series, so everything that's not an S, which is the top end stuff, is all called A.
Is an A.
And so they have A30 and A50 and A60 and A70, and now they've moved on to A51 and so on. The A70 was probably one of the best phones I've ever used.
Yeah, A71 looks very promising.
Massive screen, I think 6.8 inch screen.
The pricing there is up at the 9,000 Rand mark.
Yeah.
For the A71, A51 is 7,000 Rand, 6,999, which is decent. The specs are mid-range, but the important thing for me is that the designs are copying exactly what they're doing with the S series, with the flagship stuff. So like hole punch cameras.
Do they have the Galaxy moniker in front of them?
Yes, they do.
So it's a Galaxy A51.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this was what was interesting is usually Samsung will launch the S series carrying the latest Android, so out the box carrying the latest Android. But here we're getting budget devices, the A series, which is coming to market first in South Africa, with Android 10 straight out the box, and the new design, the rumored design for the S series, with like the slab camera, like along the left-hand side of the rear panel, which is, I mean, it's interesting thing, and I think moving a lot of these flagship kind of design cues is driving a lot more
Yeah.
growth.
I mean, you
in
see
that
the same
market.
thing in cars, all of a sudden all this technology premieres on these Formula One
Yeah.
cars, and within 2 years it's all down in your sort of low-end Ford micro
Yeah,
car. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Jordan is spot on with growth, and
It's
I
going.
think 2020 is the year to maybe buy a new phone. Like
Okay.
I
Could be.
held that on 2019. Like 2020 is definitely the iPhones that are out now are great. The smartphones that are rumored to come out at MWC, the Android flagships, they're also going to be great. There'll be,
Okay.
I think we can hold off on 5G devices for another 2
Yes,
years
yes.
maybe. But if you do an upgrade, like if you
What
have the same
about
phone
the
for like 3 years,
folding?
I don't
I'm
care
starting
about
to get.
folding
I'm
phones.
starting to get tempted into the folding.
I
thing.
don't care about folding phones.
I'm starting to get
Told you.
pulled into the folding. Now I think it's because my eyes are getting weaker and I need more screen to see what the
Folding
hell
or
I'm doing.
dual screen?
Folding.
Folding.
I think I'm going
No,
folding.
I think the compromise is still too much. You're getting
Sure.
the worst parts of a phone and the worst parts, sizes and
But
layouts
that's the
of
thing,
a
you
tablet.
see. That's the thing. I just can't see myself going back to a tablet. But there are times when I could really use more screen.
Yeah.
That's why I'm starting to think. Okay, but I don't have the 40,000 rand available right now
So
to buy
I'm
the folding
currently, I
phone.
still dual wield the iPad mini and a smartphone, and for me that's the perfect sort of solution right
Okay,
now.
somewhere in this year, the folding phones are going to come round to like 17, 18, 19,000 rand, at which point I have to start taking it more seriously. But we
And
can move on.
How about the folding screens? I see one use for folding screens though, for the TikTok generation.
Oh, my
Because
goodness.
if your phone can fold,
Yeah.
it can prop itself up like a
Oh,
tripod.
I see, you can hold it up. Right, okay,
So you can
fold
put
it
it
in
like
half
on
and
a
it
table.
stands up.
Yeah, because
okay.
I was watching these two girls who were at a nursery.
Oh, you told us the story last week. Yeah.
And they like propped it up against like part of the
They
jungle
practiced
gym,
their
one of the
move
poles,
and
the
yeah,
whole thing.
okay.
And MTN has now fascinatingly launched data bundles aimed specifically at TikTok.
So,
Gavin, give us the lowdown.
Well, there's a hashtag, TikTok South Africa. The hashtag has been used 400. Well, it appeared on 400 million views of TikTok material.
Yeah.
Is TikTok South Africa 400 million views of that hashtag? So there's an estimate of 350,000 South African users. They've made a total of 7,000 videos, and that was a while ago.
And
so
I can
it's-
promise you 60% of them are in school.
Yes, no, exactly. I mean, these girls on the jungle gym, you were saying. TikTok, for those who don't know, it's a user-generated video platform, but it's kind of like the quick and dirty, in a way that YouTube is kind of a more systematic way of doing it.
Yeah.
This is the quick and dirty video, which are not quick and dirty. They're
Yeah.
just done quickly, short format, and so
Licensed
on.
music.
Yes, they look beautiful.
importantly.
And the point is that MTN has now identified this demographic and has now created data packages just for TikTok users. So, I mean, they've got a daily bundle, for example, that's like just lasts for 1 day, 100 megabytes for 5 rand. This is for people who need to upload that video. You need to upload 2 or 3 videos.
Yeah.
And
I've never understood those daily sort of bundle thing. I've never been drawn to it.
I mean, I can't see how you can buy it and then have to use it up like in the next 2 hours.
I wanna buy my monthly sort of thing so I can budget better.
So in the TikTok thing, they've got 1 gigabyte for 50 rand, which is not such a great deal because you
Yeah.
can get that just about anywhere. It doesn't have to be TikTok related.
But I reckon it's more like you pre-plan your thing, so you know you're going to whatever event, and you're probably going to want
Oh,
to
I
do some
see,
like
and then
TikTok
you
stuff.
buy
And then
data.
you just buy like that
Okay.
$500.
You're going to the
drop it
Casper on
20.
your Vest concert.
Yeah,
and, so
and you
yeah,
know you're going to
okay.
be creating a lot of content.
All right.
I kind of like the idea. It's been fascinating to me. I have a young daughter. She's still in primary school. Cousins also age like primary school sort of age, and they are big into TikTok right now.
Wow.
Like over and above
Wow.
Instagram,
Okay.
not even having an
All right.
Instagram account.
Ah.
Like just fully invested in TikTok, not on
I
Facebook,
suppose it's
not on
as
anything.
Snapchat was to WeChat, so TikTok is to Instagram. Okay.
I think TikTok's just completely wiped Snapchat out. Because,
All
I mean,
right.
Instagram's stolen a lot of, like most of what Snapchat was really about.
Yes.
So yeah, I think
Okay.
it's just been fascinating
Amazing.
watching.
Almost every year, a new thing has arisen.
Yeah.
So
So
3
now-
years ago, Snapchat was it, and then it got overtaken by
Yeah.
Instagram, and then it got overtaken
So
by
remember,
TikTok,
Vine was bought by Twitter, and then Twitter killed Vine.
Yeah.
So now the original makers of Vine have launched.
Mine was like 4-second videos. Huh?
Yeah. launched a new app called Byte, which kind of
Okay.
tries to recapture what Vine was.
Okay.
It's just a short form. I haven't been able to test it myself because it's not available in our country yet. But early reviews are in, and the old people are liking it.
Oh gosh, I just can't with this user-generated video stuff. I just can't.
But I
man.
mean, we've now already had our first. I mean, so the Grammys that just happened also this week. That was a for me a momentum shift where you had a TikTok star, Lil Nas X, with Old Town Road winning a Grammy Award.
I don't even know who these people are.
You had Billie Eilish,
Yes, I know who that is.
originated like with the SoundCloud revolution, like the self-published sort of stuff.
Stand still, man. Jeez.
I wouldn't have to stand still.
If I was using a Galaxy S10.
Yeah, or just
okay, one
a
more.
flagship camera.
One more.
Come on, guy, you are slowing down the.
Okay, right. Sorry, we're taking selfies. Okay.
Whatever you use, are using. Oh, never mind. I won't. We won't name and shame.
I didn't put the beauty mode on.
Have you turned it off?
No,
Anyway,
yeah. Okay,
as I was
sorry,
saying. No, I've lost my train of thought. Yes. So, like
Grammys.
Billie Eilish swept the Grammys.
Yeah,
she
yeah,
took
yeah.
home 5
Yeah,
awards,
yeah.
and that's all. And I mean, Justin Bieber, who was the original YouTube star, is now on his 5th or 6th album, or his 5th album.
Yeah,
I think.
yeah, okay.
He's coming out shortly, and I mean, he's done.
He's done.
pretty
Yeah,
much
yeah,
it.
yeah.
And like these kids, you were deriding the user-generated content, but there, Shawn Mendes, even he rose out of Vine. He was a Vine star. And for these guys to actually create careers, sustainable careers, and become mega stars from these niche platforms, I think it's incredible.
Okay. What happened to? But the first of these was Britney Spears.
Yeah.
The industry just took her, chewed her up, spat her out.
Yes.
You know.
But you don't
She
have
was-
that anymore. You
well,
now
no,
have
you do. I mean, okay, Taylor Swift's a bit more empowered, but you know, I think the industry is allowing these people to flourish. The industry is using them, is seizing on them, turning them into stars, using them for its own gain.
A lot of these guys are coming out with very, very unique. They don't fit the mold. They don't fit the old mold of getting the record deal and then growing from there. The industry, or at least the music business churns around you and pumps you out as this manufactured star. These guys are authentic, true to themselves. They're coming out. I mean, the content that they are putting out is wild. Like Billie Eilish, I think she directed 2 of her own music videos.
Okay.
And, dude, you would have not seen any studio touch
Be able
that
to
sort
produce
of
that sort of thing. All right, okay. Maybe I must do a bit of the old Billie Eilish because I know everybody else is into it. I need to find out. Okay, but we're getting off topic, way off topic.
I think technology is empowering people. And on that note, neat segue, I come to you directly after my interview with Stafford Matthews, GM of WeWork South Africa. WeWork have opened up their 3rd premises in South Africa. They are co-working space. You can rent like hot desks and.
Yes, they've been in the news a lot lately because they would buy up these pieces of real estate and turn them into places where people can go and work and rent short-term time in these places to work together. And they would provide facilities and so on for people who don't want to have a regular office. And then they got into trouble because they ended up with wild valuations, and then the founder of the company went berserk and ran off with the money, and all sorts of things went wrong, and now they're trying to recover. But they have in the meantime put down roots in South Africa.
Yeah, so this is their 3rd office that's opened in Cape Town. They have one in Sandton and Rosebank. Rosebank was the first one. They already 99% subscribed.
That's Rosebank in Johannesburg.
Yeah, in Rosebank, Johannesburg, at the link. They're near the zone. They 99% subscribed there. Sandton is filling up really quickly. Cape Town, they've already had to convert a lot of their open space into like office space just because the demand for desks was so big.
I mean, in Cape Town, they're competing with a lot of other companies that we're aware of. Yeah.
But what I like about them,
service.
and I don't want to give away too much of the story that I'm still busy pitching you.
Okay.
Is the platform is very important because there's a couple of success stories that they highlighted where you get guys who were just on a 3,500 rand is just to become a member and have access to the facilities and have like a hot desk. Yes.
Okay.
Per month. And this guy showed.
But do you then pay extra for the desk?
No.
That's your entry.
So you can get a dedicated desk. You can add on for a dedicated desk, and then it works on a credit system as well, where you can rent out like conferencing facilities or boardrooms.
Right. Sure. That's all add-on.
Yeah. Sort of.
But the 3,000 gets you through the door and gets you a place to sit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And free kombucha and
internet.
And internet free
included.
internet. A nice thing also, I've worked at the Rosebank one at the link. and coming in there and trying to set up send off an email, like all my devices connected to the
Yes,
to the
okay.
Wi-Fi, which was
Right.
really slick. There was no
Right.
like login code or
It's
anything.
got to have a
that I-
robust internet. Yeah. Okay.
robust, and it's all seamless. You get a card, and you can go anywhere in the world to any WeWork office,
Right.
and you can log in there.
Right.
You can just walk in with your card, and everything
Right.
will set up. Obviously, it's courtesy to notify them that you're coming to
Yes,
a
yes,
foreign
okay,
location,
okay. But
so
in
that they can
theory,
make
it
sure
should be
that it is-
seamless,
yes,
yeah.
it's pretty seamless. Which
Okay.
I know you have issues with them billing themselves as a tech company.
Yes.
Like that sort of tech, I've used a lot of these places, and none of them are that seamless. Even like within a company like News 20 or Media 24,
You
moving
move from office to office and things
moving
break.
from the Cape Town office to the Joburg office, and you can't log onto the Wi-Fi or anything.
Okay.
So like
Yes.
that's pretty.
My argument has been that these are basically just real estate developers that have got, sophisticated access codes on the door, like the
Yeah.
kind of access codes you would use for any,
Yeah.
large corporate. It just tracks your movements and so on. And like logging into the Wi-Fi, okay, like every other office ever.
Yeah,
So my argument has been that they're a real estate company masquerading as a tech startup, so
Yes.
that they can get tech startup level
Well, but
funding and
what-
IPO.
what-
Meanwhile, it's just real estate.
What I like about them, or at least the pitch that was given to me by the South African crowd, is just having access. So you're like a one-man, two-man shop sort of startup, and
Sure.
you set up the roots at like a WeWork. You go onto their community platform, which is kind of like a bit of LinkedIn and a little bit of Facebook involved in one thing. You can broadcast a message about yourself to everybody. There's been contracts that have been signed like across that sort of thing. And just bringing people together in a space where they can collaborate.
But I mean,
for me,
if
is always a
you've
good
got
thing.
2 or 3 people, let's say, involved in your startup,
Yeah.
that's 10 grand a month you're paying for them to go there. I mean, what happened to the old dining room table, really? What happened to all working at the dining room table? What happened to cramming into the garage?
But where do you
know?
take your meetings?
Well, how did they do it when the startups were held in garages? Where did they do it?
No, I'm saying
They
like
probably
if
went to the
you're
McDonald's, I
meeting
don't
like
know.
the CIO of like Investec
You
or
go to the
something,
freaking mug and bean like every other good startup should.
but or you can invite him to.
If you approached me for startup funding and you were spending 10,000 rand a month for free kombucha and sparkling water and stuff, I'd be like, I'm not so sure. Okay, I'm kidding.
I think
being
it's
devil's
cool
advocate.
that you have a resource where
Sure.
you can invite these people into professional setting, rent out a little bit of boardroom, like have a nice whiteboard there where you can draw stuff on, or it's like
Sure,
a screen you
sure,
can project
sure,
to.
sure.
I think for startup businesses, and especially someone who is kind of the driving force behind what is effectively a content startup.
Okay.
Trying to push my own services. I think it's a great place to put up roots.
Okay.
But we digress.
Yes, we do.
because
so
Gavin,
that's the story of WeWork. The company is WeWork. They had massive scandals in America recently. They've made a lot of news headlines, and now they're in South Africa.
Gavin, we are Keep power users at this point. Google Keep itself. It's my preferred note-taking app. It's how we collaborate and set up notes for these shows, and we actually do a lot of things on there.
Yes, we do.
It's lightweight as an app. It doesn't
Yes.
use a lot of resources. It syncs seamlessly across Google services, like across all of your devices
Yes.
where you have it installed. You can pull it up on the web. It's just a great place. Video, like you can audio clips, handwriting.
Google Keep, it's like yellow post-it notes,
Yeah.
except it's on all your devices all the time. You can share it, you can update it, you can add pictures, you can add all sorts of things. Yeah.
Yeah, so you are all about handwriting recognition.
Well, sort of. What I've been having trouble with is you find a piece of information in hard copy. Either it's a printout of something you received, or it's a label of something
Yeah.
you've received, or it's a PDF of something you've received, and you actually need access to the text. How are you going to get the text out of these formats? If you take a picture of a sign, let's say, you take a picture of a menu, you take a picture of something, someone sends you a PDF, you need access to the text. What you need is optical character recognition. Optical character recognition systems have been around a long time. It's how the computer looks at all these things and converts those pictures of text back into actual text that you can use in your word processor. Optical character recognition, OCR.
The segue there, just side note. So the capture or the recapture thing that you sometimes have to fill in.
CAPTUR kind
Yeah,
of thing.
so if you want to access a new like web service or
Yeah.
something, say sometimes like make you prove that you're not
You're
a
not
robot.
a robot, yeah.
the original capture where you had to like kind of put in the characters.
Yes, that's right,
written
shown
there.
on
That was the original way that the AI behind a lot of OCR was trained.
Okay, yes. Okay, you would recognize like random text characters, and you would input them in the system, and in that way you were training the AI to recognize those characters in the future.
Yeah, so a lot of Google things use so that's the 9 grid now, so pictures, and you need to identify all the pictures
All
of
the
traffic
buses,
lights,
all
or
the
buses
flowers,
or something.
yeah.
This is us actively training smart car AI.
For how to recognize buses and stop streets and traffic lights and road signs. Yeah.
It's like all the odd things that where the appearance can change, it's not consistent across.
Yes.
Like you can't just code one thing for it.
I mean, you've probably seen these services where it goes identify all the pedestrian crossings.
Yeah.
And then you have to look, and some of them have got such a tiny piece of pedestrian crossing on it, you don't really know. It could be a stop street.
We are training Skynet, man, as we go.
Yep,
But anyway,
yep.
go along.
Okay, so
OCR.
So easy OCR. Let's say somebody has given you a book, and there's a page in this book, perhaps it's a recipe, and you want to get that recipe into text on your PC because you want to do something to it. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a picture with your phone, and now you're going to save that as a picture. You're going to open Google Keep, and in Google Keep you're going to go for there's a little 3-dot sub menu at the bottom of the note that allows you a couple of extra options, and using that you're going to import your picture into your Google Keep note that you're working on. And once you've imported it, you simply click on the option to, let me see, I've written it down here, there's an option that goes grab picture text. It goes into the picture, it looks for all the text it can find, it takes that text and pastes it back into the note as text in one step. In fact, the first few times I did it, I would click on grab picture text, and like nothing would happen. So I would do it again and do it again. And eventually, when I looked at the note, the text that appeared 3 times, like in the bottom of the thing. So let me go through that again. Okay, you're going to take a picture of the text that you want to turn back into text, whether that's a menu, like, you know, a restaurant menu, whether that's a PDF you've been sent, whether that's a page of a recipe book that you photographed, wherever you got the image from. You're going to take that image, you're going to import it into your Google Keep note, and then you're going to choose grab picture text, and that's going to search that picture for text and extract that text and paste it right into your note for you. Once it's in the note, obviously you can do anything you like with it. You can paste it into an email, you can, you know, save it in some other format and so on.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful thing, especially if you, like in a lecture setting and there's notes that on the board or something, and you just want to take a picture of it and save those notes for later. It's a good thing. Like I found Keep is very useful. I collaborate on shopping lists and birthday lists, guest lists and stuff with my wife on it all the time. And then there's another Google service that has rolled out to Android devices called LiveScribe. And it has absolutely revolutionized the way I transcribe interviews. So you can do it. So you can play recorded in, so like I like to record on my phones or digital device. You can record on the phone, then play the recording on the phone with LiveScribe running, and it will transcribe on the fly everything that is being said.
Into text,
Into text, like on the same device. This is revolutionary stuff.
For journalists, you got to understand that is such a big deal. From having to either type as fast as the guy's saying, run the risk of typing incorrect characters, or having to listen to the interview you've recorded and then type it all up after the fact. It makes the interview last 3 times longer than it actually should. This way, I've used this as well in the same context where there's a little piece of text that I need. Let's say it's a recipe. All I do is I read the recipe out to LiveScribe, and it just writes it all down for me.
That's
so
a very, very good
way to do it.
In the Apple world, Notes does integrate well into Gmail right now. You can open up a Gmail tab that will have all your Apple Notes. I thought it was quite amazing. The interview notes that I took for the interview I did earlier today, first time I've actually seen it happen, took the first line of script that I wrote and turned it into text and used it as the header,
file name.
the header for the note, and that was quite incredible. And now just pulling it up on Gmail when I'm in my and I use my Gmail all the time. So there is ways to get around it, integrating the Google services like that through Apple, but Keep is available on iOS devices as well. It works. All of the things that have been mentioned here works the same. LiveScribe, not yet because the APKs having access to like the microphone data, and like it's just a bit crazy now with security. But anyway, that has been a good show, Gavin.
Okay.
I have, as I said, A51 content is going up on the site today. You can also read my weekly column on a Thursday. It's called #TechThursday on carshop.co.za, where I have all my misings about the car industry and technology and how the two meet. And Gavin, what's going on your side?
Let's see. We are interviewing Rashad Shah.
Yes.
In fact, you are interviewing
I am
Rashad Shah. He's the CEO of a telecoms company that has really impressed the hell out of me, and that is Liquid Telecoms. Liquid Telecoms is the company that used to be called Neotel.
Yes.
Neotel was supposed to be a direct competitor to Telcom a very long time ago. Anyway, Liquid Telecoms has done some truly amazing things and is probably launching the first proper 5G network in South Africa, and is then leasing out that capacity to Vodacom and others. So we're going to speak to him about how he's empowering consumers through Liquid Telecom, his company. We are reviewing these Vivo handsets to see how they shape up. We're also expecting the new LG G8 X ThinQ to arrive in the next little while. And that's going to be very
Dual
exciting.
screen is very, very nice.
We love our LG phones. And last but not least, I'm writing a highly critical analysis of all the different streaming video services you can get in South Africa. And to do that, I'm reviewing the new Apple 4K TV box.
Okay.
So I'm going to sign up for all the services on that box.
Nice.
And test them all that way.
Yeah.
And this will definitely be an article worth reading.
Your life will change.
No, I've had them before, so I know that they are the best, and we've discussed this on the show. And what I'm most interested in is then making a short list of the must-view geek shows on each service. But for that, I'm going to liaise with Lindsey.
Okay.
We can agree to disagree and argue about the must-view geek shows.
I actually watch Dangerously Little TV.
Why?
Dangerously Little. Just because I have very specific tastes and I prefer to ingest like heavy-hitting content when I do.
Oh my goodness. Okay, no, I have to watch TV in order to get some levity in this life, because life is pretty
I watch more
heavy.
YouTube. That's where I can consume a lot of those things. I torrented the other day. And it was really funny because we like to pay for content, like pay the content creators through the services that we sign up to, so that the money's going to the content that we really enjoy. And then there was something that doesn't come to South Africa, and we rely on people to obtain it for us. And then I was like, I know how to do this thing. My wife really wanted to watch this one episode, and I like did the deed.
Was it The Mandalorian?
I send her the picture of the file, and she's like, oh no, but I'm getting it tomorrow. And so all my has been in all my piracy has been in vain.
I also illegally downloaded things this week. John Wick, because there's so much fuss being made out of John Blim and Wick, and I know nothing about it, so I'm catching up with popular culture. John Wick, Keanu Reeves. Okay, we're done.
Please stay safe, use VPNs.
Don't download illegally.
And do not download illegally. Pay for the content that you like so the content creators can make more of it.
Okay.
That's me. Cheers.
We're off. Bye.